Hey guys, be sure to check out the Mortar Pod, our weekly video podcast, and also check out the tutorial video for my board game, Travelers of Storia. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another M15 Swiss draft, and we've opened yet another Chandra. I think this is like my fourth one or something. It's pretty crazy. So that's a pretty easy pickup. She's worth like 6 tickets too, or something crazy like that. Sunblade Elf, also a very powerful card. Gather Courage, I like a lot. Torch Fiend, Typhoid Rats, Satyr Wayfinder, Path Mage. Pretty good, pretty deep pack, to be honest. But yeah. Pyromasta. We don't have to play her yet, but I'd like to. She is a powerful card. I guess, you know, she's certainly not like overpowered or ridiculous, but just her first ability, getting bigger and dealing damage, making stuff not able to block, all of that combines to be very good. Okay, pick 2 here. Well, there's Coral Barrier. Borderland Marauder, which keeps us on point with the Chandra Pyromaster. There's also Swift Claw, Venom Sliver, a lot of good, efficient beaters for all colors here. Curse Spirit, of course, a little bit evasive. I guess I'm feeling the Marauder. I'm not opposed to it. I like it. Powerful card. Coral Barrier, also very good, as I mentioned, but Coral Barrier is probably better than Borderland Marauder in a vacuum. Maybe that's a bold statement, but the reason I'm saying it is because not only does it give you a Landwalker, but it gives you 2 permanents for Convoke spells and just locks up the ground kind of nicely, so it's just a very good utility sort of spell. I'm going to go for the Marauder just to try and make this Pyromaster work. Plus, Marauder is very good if I end up something aggressive, red aggressive. So why not try and make red aggressive work if possible. We can continue with this Altac Bloodseeker. I've done some pretty nasty things with this before in the past, so definitely a strong card. Hot Soup. Played it a few times, at least out of sideboard. It's not bad. Divination, Lava Axe in here, which, considering our first couple picks, looks like it would be nice. But, yeah, I'm feeling the Bloodseeker. Let's get another nice little 2-drop. Alright, maybe we get a third 2-drop. There's a Generator Servant in here. There's also Living Totem, which is very playable and good. Not too much else here. Tinkerer, Walled Mulch, both fine. I don't know if I'm ready to jump into red-green solely based on a Living Totem, but Living Totem is a good card, no doubt. No doubt about it, but I like the Generator Servant. Red Ramp is usually pretty good. Servant's a good card. Stay on point with red for now until I see something that definitely makes me want to jump into another color. Do we have any creature consistency? Human. 2 humans so far. That might be enough justification for me to take the Obelisk of Erd. Then again, there is a Siege Worm in here, which is important to keep in mind. Founder Street Denizen and Rummaging Goblin as well. Siege Worm's pretty strong. I mean, it's certainly more strong than Living Totem. Might be a better sign that green is open. And we have the Generator Servant. Kind of makes sense to take the Siege Worm here. I do like Obelisk of Erd. It's probably early enough where I could find some way to make that work, but I don't know. I think taking Siege Worm's probably a safe bet. 5th pick Siege Worm is a pretty good sign that green's going places. Alright, so now we can take Enforcers, also Crowd's Favor. I do love me some Crowd's Favor. Blastfire Bolt also in here, and Willforged Golem, so plenty of playables for us. I do love Crowd's Favor. Krenko's Enforcer is evasive, which is very powerful. Very good creature. I think I'm going to go with the Crowd's Favor. I'm just a sucker for this card. I really think it's powerful. Very awesome card. Okay, Mongrel seems fine. Another Denizen, which is, you know, even though I expressed how much I don't like it, I still think it's pretty playable in a aggressive red deck, or at least I guess out of sideboard as a blocker for heavy X1 decks, but I think this is definitely early enough to snag a Mongrel, which if we end up with a Darksteel Citadel or any number of other artifacts, I'm going to be really happy I have it. Well, Sacred Armory is very good. I think Goblin Rough Rider might just be the pick, though. I guess Sacred Armory tends to work a little bit better when you've got a bunch of cheap dudes, though, and it works with the Mongrel. All right, maybe I'll go Sacred Armory. It's foil, so it's kind of inviting me to pick it, you know? Torch Fiend, that's a good wheel. Pretty easily take that. Looks like the green dried up, so despite getting the 5th pick Siege Worm, may have just been an illusion. Here's our Darksteel Citadel for our Mongrel as well. That's very nice. I think we'll take that. Runeclaw Bear, you know, also playable, but let's take the Citadel. Who knows? Maybe we'll end up monocolor. I've done it before, but there's no real reason to be monocolor in this format that I can think of, besides a little bit of mana consistency. I guess we'll snag a Naturalize. I don't know. You never know what'll happen. Black Cat, yeah, I suppose we can take that. It's pretty playable. Getting the Foundry Street Denizen is actually pretty nice. Fine Wef, sure. Alright, well, no real reason to be in green yet besides the Siege Worm, so we'll see if that pans out for us there. If we're going to just maybe do a mono red. Alright, here, Sentinel's fine. I don't really like it in aggressive build. Certainly don't want to first pick a Denizen. I guess we can first pick the crowd's favor. It's good enough. Into the Void is very strong. You know, Frostlinks is okay. There's some decent blue picks in here, but let's stay on point with red for now. I mean, I can jump into another color if I really want, and I just don't think that I want to yet. Lightning Strike, pretty easy pickup here. And Soul Artifact, of course, being interesting archetype I haven't tried yet, but I have lost against. Caustic Tar, Shield of the Avatar is okay. Invasive Species, nothing too crazy beyond the Lightning Strike, of course. Okay, Jalira, I do actually kind of like that card, to be honest, but I think we're going to take the Juggernaut, and yet another card that works with Scrapyard Mongrel, and it's just hyper aggressive. There's also another crowd's favor in a Lava Axe, but I think I like the Juggernaut more than the Willforged Golem even, because you get the cheaper cost. Can't be blocked by walls. Very good. Lava Axe. Ideally we wheel that, or Brawler's Plate. Either of those is pretty nice to wheel. Still decent blue picks in here, so blue could be a potential second color. I might get behind that, but then you get sort of awkward things like this. I mean, I guess we can take Gargoyle Sentinel, but like I said, it's not really what an aggressive deck wants to do. Alternatively, we can take the Runeclaw Bear or the Witch's Familiar. But I guess I'll take the Gargoyle Sentinel. I mean, it's not like it's a terrible card for our deck. It's just not very progressive. Like damage progressive. Broodkeeper, do we have any? No auras. In a pack with an aura. I mean, we could just take it anyway. If we end up with a Hammer Hand, we're going to be golden. It's always a nice card to just have, because Hammer Hand is super playable in this deck regardless. So is Forge Devil and Bronze Sable. But let's, and actually I guess at this point, Shrapnel Blast, we've got 3 artifacts that we can toss. I'm going to take the Broodkeeper anyway, because if we end up with a Hammer Hand or 2, I'm going to be really happy that we did. And otherwise it's just a 4-mana 2/3, which is still very acceptable. Okay, I think it seems like a pretty easy Rough Rider here. Hot Soup, also in here and decent, especially for our deck, but Hot Soup's pretty awesome on a Scrapyard Mongrel. Let's take the Rough Rider. Here's a Hammer Hand. I think that's an easy pickup. Like I said, it's definitely a powerhouse card in this style of deck, and especially with the Broodkeeper, so I like it. Pretty late Welkin turn, which is also probably reasonable, but I don't know. I'm kind of feeling trying mono red out. See if we can make it work. Brawler's Plate's good and all, but I'm going to take the Generator Servant number 2. If we're going to be this aggressive, we really just need to maximize the amount of cheap creatures you get. I'd ideally like a little bit more removal, but 2 Crowd's Favor Lightning Strike is not bad, and Hammer Hand's not bad either for getting by blockers. I guess we take the Founder Street Denizen. I mean, Frostlinks is fine. Start going into blue, but we look like we can make a mono red deck work, actually. I mean, seems like it's actually a possibility. I'm going to hate the Fester Gloom since it annihilates us. Midnight Guard is good against this too, but I'd rather hate the Fester Gloom. So I guess my first cut I would like is probably the Gargoyle Sentinel, only because it's not very proactive. Lava Axe versus 3rd Crowd's Favor. Also Jalira tabled, which is still surprising. We don't have any bomb creatures to really... I mean, the main point of it is you can sack a creature that's going to die anyway and get a free creature, which is good. Legitimately good. But I'd rather go for the aggressive in-your-face deck. Let's take a Lava Axe here over the 3rd Crowd's Favor, even though I really do like the Crowd's Favor. I mean, this is the Lava Axe deck where you just get in enough damage early on to clean up with a Lava Axe, so it makes sense. Take the Clear Path, unless we... Ooh. We're going to not only take the Shrapnel Blast, this is the first time I can legitimately say this is a deck that can run Shrapnel Blast. That's amazing. We actually have 4. This makes Sentinel a little bit more valuable in the deck, but that's very surprising that I finally have drafted Shrapnel Blast and can actually play it. That's pretty nice. Alright, well, Foil Yavimaya Coast is kind of screaming at me. But Enforcer, I mean, is Foil Yavimaya Coast worth anything? It's got to be worth something, right? Otherwise, I just take the Enforcer, which is good. It's evasive. Nothing else in here even playable for us. I'm going to take the free tickets. I know it's greedy, but I feel like it. We're just a couple of playables short of a deck anyway, so it kind of makes sense to me. Oh, geez, past the Triplicate Spirits? This pack's just loaded with goodies. You've got Kurkesh, which works well with the Sacred Armory. You've got Inferno Fist, which is just removal, which this deck needs. You got Broodkeeper, which works well with the Inferno Fist and the Hammer Hand. We only have 1 aura right now, so unless I knew for a fact we could get a bunch more of the second Broodkeeper, I know for a fact we're not going to table Inferno Fist, for example, so that's tough. That is really tough. I'm going to take the Inferno Fist. I want the Broodkeeper, but Inferno Fist just works so well with any time you're red, but especially this kind of aggressive build. Forge Devil would be nice too, but I don't know what to say. I needed the Inferno Fist. I do very much enjoy the Broodkeeper deck, but I don't know. I dig Inferno Fist so much. Such a powerful card. Oh my god, and we're past another Triplicate Spirits. That is so insane. I think we're going for the Hammer Hand number 2. I think it's just kind of what this deck wants. I mean, we can pretty easily play 16 lands. So now I kind of wish I'd taken the Broodkeeper over the Inferno Fist, just knowing we'd immediately get a follow-up Hammer Hand, but that's okay. I'm not going to hate Triplicate Spirits, even though hating it would be kind of helpful. I don't know what to say. I mean, we could take Triplicate Spirits and play it, but that's kind of not what we've been building towards this whole time. Good black picks in here, too, just very surprisingly. Let's just take the Hammer Hand. I'm just going to take it. No looking back. We can take Scrapyard Mongrel number 2. We can take a 3rd Founder Street Denizen. Scrapyard Mongrels are excellent finishers. I think I'm going to take that. Belligerent Sliver is fine too. But we're going to take the Mongrel and then we'll cut the Sentinel. And then you might be thinking, but Sentinel's an artifact. But that's okay. I'm still going to take the second Mongrel over it, I think. It's a late Lightning Strike and Marauder, but Lightning Strike's definitely more of the priority for this deck. So we can easily play 16 lands, I think, too. Third Scrapyard Mongrel. I think at this point we'll take another Torch Fiend. Let's make sure we get enough cheap dudes. We're a little bit short on creatures right now, to be honest, so just need to make sure I get enough creatures in general. I'd like a couple more. If I can't get a couple more, I may just have to, I don't know, cut something. I need 15 creatures, though. All right, well, that helps. Mass Calcify. You know, a couple people commenting on how good this card is. You got to keep some things in mind. First and foremost, you need to get to 7 mana. I know that maybe seems like an easy accomplishment, but it's not. Getting to 7 mana is not easy. Secondly, if you're playing against a white deck, it does nothing. It's terrible. So there are times when this card is really powerful, like if you're mostly white, and there are times where it's going to be really bad, where you're not mostly white and you can't get to 7 mana easily. So I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about that card. Let's pick up all these 2-drops. That's insane. I'm actually very thrilled we took that foil Yavimaya Coast since we tabled the Enforcer that we wanted anyway. And we get this Forge Devil. We're just a great deck at this point. I'm going to hate the Reclamation Sage. Third Foundry Street Denizen or Belligerent Sliver. Only have an Inferno Fist and a couple of Hammer Hands to slap on that. Guess I'll take the Foundry Street Denizen just for some consistency. I mean, we're mono red, so why not? Unmake can be good. Solemn Offering can definitely be good against us. Jeez, this deck is stacked with cheap stuff. Trying to think if I even want to do 15 lands, maybe cut some of our later stuff. Like cut one of the Mongrels maybe. And just play it like this with 15 lands. 14 Mountains and a Darksteel Citadel. Still need to make cuts, jeez. I mean, the bulk of our deck, the vast majority of our deck is 2-drop and less, right? $20 cards? That can't be right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 cards are 2 mana or less. I'm going to try 15 land deck. I never do that, but it seems reasonable at this juncture. So that's 28 cards, which means if I'm playing 15 lands, I still got to make 3 cuts. As ridiculous as that is. We've got 3 artifacts for the Shrapnel Blast, which I think is still enough. We've got 3 auras for the Broodkeeper. I think that's enough. Don't really want to cut any of my cheap creatures. Don't really want to cut the Lava Axe. I don't want to cut anything. How do I get away with cutting nothing in this deck? I don't think that's possible. Let's cut the Sacred Armor. Well, then I can't. Then I'm lowering my artifact count too much. Sacred Armory, as you might imagine, is not good when you're running 15 lands. That's sort of the double-edged sword of it. Well, maybe we cut the Sacred Armory and the Shrapnel Blast. Because if I cut the Sacred Armory, I'm down to 2 artifacts, which makes Shrapnel Blast much more difficult to play. And we're not like super short on removal. We've got double Lightning Strike, Inferno Fist, double Crowd's Favor, and Chandra, and Forge Devil, and triple Torch Fiend. So we've got artifacts on lockdown. Opposing artifacts, rather. Still have to make a cut. Even if I cut Sacred Armory, Shrapnel Blast, I still have to make a cut. So 2 artifacts for Mongrel's fine because at worst he's a hill giant. But Shrapnel Blast is straight up unplayable if you don't have a artifact out. So I guess that makes it a little bit less attractive as an option for us. I mean, we look like we can roll people pretty nicely if we get the right turn progressions, of course, but I don't want to cut the hammer hands. They seem super important. I don't want to cut the crowd's favorite lightning strikes, Inferno Fist. I kind of guess I guess I should cut a creature. We have 17. I don't want to cut Broodkeeper. I think that's going to be too good with 3 auras. Maybe we cut a Rough Rider. It's not that Rough Rider's bad, but I'd rather keep up all my 1 and 2 drops if we're running 15 lands. I guess I can do that. Still want to keep the Juggernaut, and we're definitely running Darksteel Citadel. Alright, I think I'm going to try for a 15 land deck. I've never actually done this before, or maybe I have, but it's been a while. I'm not sure. Maybe someone else remembers if I've done it, but I can't recall doing a 15 land deck. Usually it's pretty sketchy, but I don't know. In my mind, 20 cards that are 2 mana or less make it seem like it's okay. Whether or not it is, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, this looks like a fun deck, regardless of whether it does well or not. It looks kind of fun. I don't have to worry about getting color screwed. I only have to worry about getting mana screwed. I've got Darksteel Citadel and Juggernaut for my Mongrel, so I've got that going for me. Plenty of 1 and 2 drops. Yeah, this looks fun. Looks like a fun deck. All right, well, I'm going to run it like this, and we'll go ahead and see you round 1.